that sunshine. Boom, baby, boom. Rise and shine with me every morning. Your boy Marky Saint gets his ass into the sunshine in the middle of this jungle in Thailand or Finland or America or wherever I'd be at that time. I'll be shining. And this morning marijuana motivation is all about is masochism and narcissism. It's an epidemic that's going around that needs to be talked about, and that's what I do on the show. I come to my view and I talk about natural things and unnatural things that humans do. It's just part of psychology and the degree that I have and the deep thoughts that I go to. And then this morning, marijuana motivation, we're going to deep dive into why do we do the things that we do, even to the detriment of ourselves and our friends around us. All right, that's what it goes to. Masochism, narcissism. So masochism is a sexual desire that we get from something that hurts us or we hurt it, and it turns us on, right? And to be turned on by someone hurting you is a really sick, twisted behavior. And narcissism is another sick, twisted behavior where we only care about oneself and cannot see the pain that we cause other people. That's what narcissism, in a short version or paraphrased definition, is. I looked it up before I started this, but I wanted to talk about narcissism because of all my ex and her decision to abort my baby, me because I'm so stubborn and I don't see my forest through the trees sometimes, and then also B, the truth of it shall set you free. It's one of these things that the more honest you can be with yourself, the more real things get. And that's what's difficult about situations, is we don't want to get real about our situations. We want them to get real for us, and we don't have to adjust our sails or self-reflect or actually go back and check out Sunday game tape on Monday and say, oh shit, I missed a block, or man, I shouldn't have thrown that interception. A lot of us are just going to be like, it's the other partner. It's them. It's not me. It has nothing to do with my childhood. It has nothing to do with their reaction. It has nothing to do with my reaction. It's just the way that it is. And it turns out it's the way that you make it. And what's really sad is that we might make it hard on ourselves. That's what masochism is when you really don't mind shit fucking up in your own world. And that sucks because it's unfortunately true that we can't adjust our sails if we live in our own heads, right? If you're not even on the ship, it's going to be hard to correct a certain course. And unfortunately, a lot of us would just like to point at our partners and go, well, they were narcissistic. And then little do we know, why are we dating narcissists? And what part of us is narcissistic, where we only care about ourselves? We become extremely selfish. It's like, where am I going? What am I doing? How many followers does my Instagram have versus how happy am I? How do I make other people feel? And what am I producing in society? Instead is what do I do in society? Oh, I'm a socialite. I go places. I want people to think that I'm super fucking awesome. We were looking at narcissism on such a level that I was watching these one guys rent out a fake private jet set up. They just went in LA, had a prop made by some LA props, and make it look like a real fucking private jet, and they rent it out for $70 an hour, and fucking influencers get on this thing and pretend that it's theirs, right? They want to pretend that they are happy, they want to pretend that they are successful, and they want to pretend that they own things that they don't. Inside, it makes them feel great. Outside, you have to stop pretending. Like on the outside, you don't get to roll up and be like your boy, what's his face? What's his name? The guy, little Bow Wow. Bow Wow was pretending that he was getting on a jet, and someone took a picture of him in not business class, but like in economy class, and he got busted doing it. I mean, whatever you do in the dark comes out in the light. And that's the tough part about ourselves, is we do a lot of things in the dark. We do some masochistic shit. We hurt ourselves. We bite off our nose to spite our face. Our pride, our envy, our jealousy, always constantly directing us into competing in things where we've said, oh yeah, I'm going to be focused on my health. And meanwhile, you're only focused on butt shots for Instagram. You might lip service the things that you say that are important to you, And it might be true to your lips, but it might not be true to your life. And this is something that's like whispering the truths of our lives and whispering to ourselves secretly what we really feel inside is the masochism. It's just the straight self abuse that we do to ourselves. We don't even know it. We don't even notice that we're being rude to ourselves. We don't even notice that we're singing so loud that we're interrupting the show. We don't even know that we repeat patterns on a regular basis and get the same results. And there it is. You know, it's us. It's us versus us. It's not me. It's really me versus me. And that's what's really sad is like we have ourselves to blame and we have ourselves to heal and we have ourselves to fix. And this is a tough part because that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to undo childhood trauma. It's a lot of work to stop patterns from existing and repeating the same behaviors over and over again and expecting different results, to stop the insanity, to get ourselves to actually focus on reality is a very difficult thing. We have the paradox of choices, where now all of a sudden it's like everything's a fucking 17 million choices, and you want to pick the right choices. So you're constantly choosing instead of just being. There's this feeling that something has to be purchased or something has to be fucking taken, or positions have to be made or kept. And then we get in these situations and we're like, how did I even compete on this level of like Instagram level? What one photo did I watch and I go, oh man, I'm so jealous, I need to get that? I know for a fact that I get food envy, right? Like I'll look at someone's fucking post and I'll be like, man, that's what I need to smash today, right? Well, I'm eating someone else's meal. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even sitting with them at the same table, but I'm already watching the plates go by from the kitchen going like, excuse me, what did you order? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very food jealous and food conscious. And of course, like any monkey, we don't want to miss out. We don't want to miss out on super cool fucking videos for New Year's. And then we don't want to watch anybody else's videos. We just want to make our videos, but we want everybody else to watch it. And it's in the competition of, I need you to stop being narcissistic long enough to make me narcissistic. Or I need you to be so masochistic that you don't mind hurting me or our future or our love, because that's just what it has to be. And some people, they don't see it that way. They just don't see that they're being self-destructive or repetitive with their patterns, or keep smoking cigarettes because they want to look cool or feel confident in a situation. We do these things to the detriment of ourselves. We don't see it that way because we think we're being fucking cool, right? I'm being so fucking cool not talking to anybody while I go inside the club. I'm being so fucking cool keeping my sunglasses on at night. I'm being so fucking cool not having any committed relationships or bonding with people in real true life. I saw it happen the other day. This girl's trying to come around me and her, Splitville. Never talked again. She goes in her own direction. I go in mine. And now all of a sudden she's hanging around my track of friends. Well, my friend stopped to say hi to me, and now she has to stand there like a weirdo with the new guy that she's got behind him standing there like a weirdo. And now these fools got to fucking actually have to associate with me when most of the time they're being narcissists and just walking past me. Now they got to bow down to me. Now they got to stay at my table and act all weird, and it makes them feel weird because they can't go anywhere without the group. Those friends aren't really their friends, they're my friends, but they want to belong. They want to look cool. Everybody wants something, bruv. You know what I mean? It's like it's the old age old adage that, you know, saying there's a price for the prize. And there's a price for being a friend to people, and there's a price for being a narcissist to people, and each one of us has to pay that said price. And that's just the thing. It's not just how much money you have, you know, it's how much space you take up. And it's like, what services do you provide, or are you just a taker? You know, there's a lot of givers out there. I'm one of them, but there's also a lot of takers out there as well. And to find that fine balance of people that aren't trying to hurt you, or by improving them, you know what I'm saying, that they're not trying to take advantage of other people, even though, you know, life isn't that cylindrical. It isn't that symmetrical. Life doesn't give us these picture perfect moments that we all try to filter or use, or use against each other, so that way I can get a buzz, the masochistness of like, I get like a super buzz that I made you jealous. It didn't matter that I made myself happy. It mattered that I made you jealous, or that my ass looked good, or that I got so many likes. And it starts chasing the narcissistic route of things, the data that pulls us into saying, well, at least I got 3,000 followers, or at least I got 30,000 followers, or at least I have a brand, or how many people are commenting, what's my algorithm like, what's my feedback like, instead of I can't believe I was there, or it was so cool to have friends with me, or that sensation was unreal. Instead, we measure it by analytics. We start measuring it by numbers, and life isn't so much in the numbers, right? It's more in the vibes. It's in the energies. And a lot of us want to count energies. We just want to put our gas tank in and count how many gallons go in or liters go in, and we say, okay, that's my energy. But while you were pumping the gas, did you notice your own energy? Did you notice if your energy was up or down, or because of coffee, or because of social media, or because of focus and clarity, or because of just face to the nose to the grindstone and face down and not focusing on anything? We do that shit. We can come back up and go, wow, I was really self-harming myself. Most people don't want to admit that. Most people don't want to go inside of their lives and say, oh, yeah, I hurt myself in that situation. I'm the one that's ruining my relationship. I'm the common denominator. If I wasn't so obsessed about my gram and put it down and started talking to that guy instead of just having him take the picture, I might have had more of an interaction. But one only thing that mattered to me was that I got the photo. So if that's the end result, right? If that's all that you're seeking, that's all that you're getting. And it doesn't get any deeper than that. It never gives any self reflection. It never gives any self healing. It just becomes a churn of events that goes, I'm going from one stimulus to the next. I need this feedback, this constant loop of tell me I'm pretty, tell me I'm liked, like my photos, give me followers, follow me, but I won't follow you. I don't need a man. All I know how to do is be selfish. And that's what I started to see in the future, is people that are so self-consumed and so narcissistic that they have a paradox of choices. All their There are people faking that they're in a private jet, and there are people that are really jealous of this private fake jet. And it's such a weird masochistic narcissistic situation where you're hurting yourself to go do work more hours, or buy clothes you can't afford, or bending your reality. What did I post here? It was stories, faith, and I don't know, man. I had it on here before. Let me see. Let me get some screenshots here. Hold tight. I had screenshots. So women do this a lot, but it's the stories that they tell themselves over and over again in their minds. They go, as long as, come on, why is it disconnecting? As long as I narrate, right? Let me put the screenshots. As long as I narrate, keep this narrative in my head, it must be that way. Oh, it's on this phone. Come on, phone. You can tell yourself lies to the end of days, bro. And that's a worse life to live, is lying to yourself. At Saints Addiction, I had to keep it real with myself, that there is tobacco in my joints when I'm traveling, that I do overeat and I'm addicted to sugar, and I have an addictive personality. I had to get to the roots of that. I also had to get to the roots of my childhood, that my parents were both abusive. And when it came to that, she told me her parents had a love hate relationship. That's the exact kind of relationship she started to manifest with me. And it's so illogical. It's so masochistic to get some kind of desire from a lack of friendships, a lack of bonding experiences, because you're too worried about how your hair looks, or what people judge, and how they perceive you, instead of how you perceive you, how you see yourself. Man, that's what real self-esteem is about, man. When you really have self-esteem, it doesn't matter that you have flaws. It doesn't matter that you, but some people don't want to accept their reality. They don't want to accept that their parents had a bad relationship. They don't want to accept that they might need to work on themselves. They don't want to. They don't want to live in the reality that there's flaws that we work on, and that's what Saints Addiction was all about. Up front, that I'm flawed. I'm not perfect. Saints are supposed to be this perfect entity, and yet here we are, completely flawed. You know, the priests are fucking kids. Um, uh, Anybody could have a sexual desire, and the way that we fill these desires, we all have secret whispers in our head. I want that. Now, do you want it because someone else has it, or do you want it to improve yourself? And that's the thing that most people don't do. They want it because you have it. They don't want to do it because it's something that could make them a better person. They don't want to sit there and reflect long enough to say, you know what, call me out on my shit, let's go, let's expose it so it won't be shit anymore. Let's work on this so it turns shit into gold. Instead, people want to just be like, let me get some fake gold, let me wear some fake earrings, and then that way you might think that I'm rich. If I wear these clothes, you might believe that I'm fucking awesome instead of me believing that I'm fucking awesome. And that's the twist. That's the fucked up part. That's the masochist in us, that we fucking almost like appreciate the self harm. We appreciate the fakery. We appreciate the aesthetics, and it's so weird. It's like that shit only works. You know what happens is the people, the fake people, find fake people. Right? They don't love you for who you are. They love for who you're faking you are, and that becomes this relationship. The guy that wants the fake boobs is only going to appreciate you for your sexuality and not your mentality. You got to look at what kind of bait you're using. And that's the thing, is it's like, if you're using your ego to bait people into buying into your followings, or into your social media, or into your delusions, you're okay with that. As long as I got 3,000 people following me on my Saints Addiction page, then I must be successful, right? Because some chick said, "Oh man, you got 3,000 followers. A bar's lucky to have 500 followers here in Finland," and I'm like, I want 30,000 followers. That would be a fucking full on fucking brand. But no, she was gloating about the 3,000, and I thought that was a low number. The other girl went to follow. I'm trying to build the Mostly Saints page up. It's only got 300 followers. She's like, "You only got 300 followers?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because my Saints Addiction page has 3,000. So you're trying to knock me for my 300, but I got a page that's got 3,000." She's like trying to talk shit to me, but I have 30 times the followers that she does. But at the same time, she's trying to compare herself by a number. We're trying to compare ourselves to other fictitious people, people that show their buttholes every day, and we're wondering why we have no following. I don't need people to follow me by showing my butthole. You know what I'm saying? And nobody would either. I'm not some hot chick, but it works for those people. It works for those simps, those guys that chase these fucking girls and their narcissism. And I'm calling bitches out. I'm like, "You're not that fucking pretty." And I told her that to her face. I was like, "No one's pretty enough to be rude." It's probably one of the smartest things I said last year, but it's like, you're not pretty. You're never gonna out pretty rude and bad behavior. They're never gonna be that fucking hot, man. If your fucking shit stinks, so does mine. And that's what we're doing. Roses really smell like poo poo, and we want to make it just smell like roses, like our asses shine, have sunshine coming out of it instead of shit. And the truth is, we all got to wipe our ass. We all got to take shits, and we all sneeze, and we all fucking fart, and we all spit, and that's what it is. But in the reality of it, we want other people to think that we got our shit together instead of actually having our own self-esteem. Having our own shit together would be preferred. Getting rid of our narcissism, getting rid of our masochisms, and stop fucking hurting ourselves and hurting others. We want to live in unrealities that these things exist. We want them to live in our fakeness. And I was like, I don't live in a fake world. And that's what they called me, the realist. You're a realist, Mark. I'm the realist. You know, I'm the realist out here on this fucking shows, trying to not be all lonely and just talk to my chat, and the whole time staring at my motherfucking phone, trying to fucking be in real life when my real life is off of this phone. My real life is when this fucking thing stops. I gotta go into my world and exist and interact. And the way that I come across is the way that it's going to respond to me. And this is just it's so astonishing. It's just like it's an epidemic, man. We got all these women being super narcissistic. If we can get more followers, then I'll be more happy. Instead of getting myself to be happy without followers, can I be just happy? It doesn't matter what they do, it's a matter what I do. And that's the thing. It's like it's self-reflective, it's self-initiative, it's my power, it's my willpower. This is a self-empowering thing. It's not to be powerful, right? We are all powerful. We have powers beyond all measures, especially in our thoughts. But instead of exercising our thoughts, we exercise our external. We exercise this belief outside of ourselves that that's our reality, instead of living at a reality inside of ourselves where it's solid, and it has a foundation and it has a structure. We want it to have a gilded cage. We want to have this golden cage that's captured us, but it looks gold to you. And I don't want to be captured. I want to be free, even if I don't have any gold. And that's the thing. The gold is inside me, right? It's just like the goose and the golden egg. The gold is inside the goose. The moment that you kill the goose is the moment you don't have any golden eggs. And that's what we do. We kill our goose every day. We're just fucking we shave off our nose to spite our face, and that's it, man. Our pride is getting us in trouble. It's inhibiting us from fucking learning. It's literally slowing us down, and we don't see it. We just want to see, we just want other people to see perfection, and we don't want to work on anything that's imperfect. We don't want anybody to see our dirty closets. They don't want to see the skeletons. They don't want to see the sadness. They don't want to see the loneliness. They don't want to see the bad childhood. They only want to see a person that looks pretty, pretty in a dress, pretty at a party, and pretty to other people. And instead of being pretty inside, not worried about if they're pretty, and doesn't, and pretty isn't gonna make, it's not gonna make you any prettier by hating me, right? It doesn't make you. I saw a girl's shirt that said it doesn't make you any prettier hating me, and it's true. Tearing someone else down so I can lift myself up. And that seems to be a consistent thing. It's like, as long as someone else has it worse than us, then our lives must be better. And it's like there's a lot of people have it lot worse than us, and we have no care about people like in India or Pakistan or Cambodia. We were talking about it last night, and it was like, man, Cambodia is the armpit of the fucking world, dude. We got kids with their arms blown off. They're doing pedophile shit. As soon as you hit the border, they're showing you pictures of 12-year-olds and 14-year-olds and shit. You know, um, um, Subversive behavior, uncalled for shit, pedophilia. These kind of things are out there, and they're happening in corrupt countries and uncivilized places. And this is where these things exist, in a dirty part of the world where money is god, and we've lost all our values. And that's just what happens. Instead of building up our personal value, right, we chase things that we perceive as value. We perceive people that have money as being valuable, or having some sort of ethics, or having some sort of, ooh, that fucking breeze feels good on my skin. It's a disease, and it's rampant, and it's like all these people, they're getting off on their own sauce, man. And you never get high on your own supply, and that includes your ego. And most people think it's a drug term, but it's true. If you're getting off on just you being awesome to other people, it's high time that you be awesome to yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's a high time that you treat others like you want to be treated, and be respectful to yourself and your thoughts and the way that you talk to yourself. Then you're going to be respectful to other people and the way you talk to them. It's one of these things that we get stuck in. We get stuck in our own ways all the fucking time, and that's psychology. And I just started to look at it, and I went like, is it more important to me that people perceive me to be happy, and post my ass off, and show that I'm having the best time of my life? Or is it time that I actually am just having the best time of my life, and I am actually truly happy? I'd rather have true happy, real happy, sustainable happy. And it's been that way for a long time. That's why I don't drink, because it's only going to be a fake fun for a little bit. Or that's why I stopped doing cocaine, because it's such a short burst, and a high peak but a very low low. And people have to get past that low low. I know one of these models was like, I stopped taking my meds, I started to spiral, I got into a deep depression. Yeah, no shit, because all your shit's built off of fucking sand. You're over here trying to say, I'm so pretty, but now I'm 31, now I'm getting older, now my pretty's fading, now I can't depend on it. I'm going to have real value. And it's something that we're like, well, as long as I'm pretty, I'm valuable. And it was just like, no, as soon as you're valuable, you're pretty. And that's what ends up happening is like, people can fake it for a little bit, right? It might get, your fake tits might get you in the club, but it's only going to get you the guy that wants to use you for your sexuality. And that's what ends up happening. So it's like, okay, sure, you want to get the best mate that you can, so you get fake tits, but instead of getting a great mate, you end up getting a stalker or somebody that just uses you for sexual bait. That's what ends up happening, and people don't want to admit that. They're just like, as long as I'm driving a Range Rover and have a lifestyle, I'm fooling everyone else. I'm winning on society instead of winning in my life. The win in life is to be able to say I have some kind of self discipline, I have some kind of direction and my own. Yep. And my own life is in under my own control and fruition versus it's now under the control over my audience, or the audience controls me, or I'm trying to do things because they're actually watching me, so I have to dance like a monkey and get the followers and get the views and say weird things or say funny videos, or whatever it is to get that clickbait, to get somebody to click on me or to see me instead of for me to see my fucking self, to see my errors of my ways, to see my repetitive patterns and habits, to see my forest through the trees, to actually see through this motherfucking jungle. And that's what it is. Life is a fucking jungle. I'm getting messages. Life is a fucking jungle, and to be able to see through the trees is a do, because guess what we want to do? We want to only see shiny things. It's the monkey trap all over again. As long as our hands are grabbing it, we don't mind that we're not free, and that's what ends up happening. We want to impress people with our bank accounts and our clothes and our looks instead of our character and our discipline and our, what's that thing called? What do you call it? Not just your beliefs, but your values. And if you give if your covetousness over things like the fake the gold cow, or your value is derived from money or a bank account instead of things that you've done with your friends. How many people have you saved from depression? How many times have you answered a phone for a friend late night in the morning, or helped anybody besides for yourself? And that's what ends up happening. If you're only helping yourself, there will be no help for you when it's time for your time for help and needing it. And then that's what ends up happening is we end up being really lonely because we're hyper independent. We become really isolated because we haven't had solid relationships, and then we end up chasing things because of envy instead of because of passion. And that's a sad thing that I'm in reality. This is what I'm seeing in life, is that people are chasing things that necessarily don't belong to them. It belongs to someone else. But we have covetousness, and we want that so bad that we stop on our own path. We stop self-disciplining and self-focus and self-healing. We'll focus on, oh well, that person's happy, let me go get some of their happy instead of find my own. And that's a real fucking thing out there. I'm gonna find real sustainable happiness. I don't want it to wear off in 4 to 6 hours and give me a hangover. I don't want it to monkey branch away from me because they found a better mate. I don't want something that doesn't want me. And that's what I'm going into the 2024. I want something that belongs to me, and not something that's might go to someone else, or belongs to someone else. That's stealing. And I don't need to steal. I need to create. I need to make, and I need to recreate myself and my reality, versus living in some kind of fake reality where only when I'm online am I alive, or only when people follow me am I important, or only when it looks like I got my shit together that I am together. No, I just rather be together. I don't need to focus or flex on anyone. I don't need to prove to you that I have it. I need to prove it to myself that I have the wherewithal and willpower to execute my visions and my passions, and that I can go after my dreams to make them into a reality, and that I can live in a reality that works for me instead of against me. And that's this morning's marijuana motivation is like, stop chasing the things that aren't chasing you. Come to the things that you know are going to bring you real happiness, and not because it's going to make someone else jealous, but it's going to improve you as an individual, as a human being on this planet. That's what we should be chasing. And instead, we're busy chasing clout and likes and follows. And as long as people watch us, we're okay. But unless we watch ourselves, we're not going to be okay. And that's how I feel. So that's your morning motivation. If you got anything out of this, please like, share, subscribe below. And as always, peace and love. And Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever and finish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, subscribe. But the other side of your psychology, the other side of your decisions, the other side of you making yourself a priority, and not the center of the world. Oh, and that's the end of the show. I'll see you guys. That's how the universe speaks to me. I hope it speaks to you, and I hope it comes out of you. That's a blessing in today. Peace, love, and I'll see you on the other side. Ciao.